Hey guys, this is CoasterFAQs. My name is CoasterBum, and this is
the Mystic Rider.
Today is Friday, May 17th, and we're here today at CoasterFAQs at Kings Island. We're standing right in front of the Banshee. It is an amazing coaster, and it's the world's longest inverted coaster. It's opened in 2014, and it still is an amazing ride for those who come out to Kings Island. We're on our way now to ride the Badge, formerly known as Flight Deck, and prior to that, Top Gun. Yeah, alright, we're right in front of the van, and we're going to take you down a tour of the cube. Let's follow me. Okay, alright, as we go through the tunnel, we can get our first glimpses of the Bat. This coaster was originally opened in 1993, and was renamed to the Bat in 2014 in honor of the original suspended coaster here at Kings Island. And it still is an amazing roller coaster. Definitely worth riding when you're at Cedar Point.
Camera on me. And we also like to mention that the Bat is celebrating 25 years at the park, if you count the years it was Top Gun.
25 years. That is a long time for a coaster. And fun fact, it is designed by one of the most famous roller coaster companies of all time, Aerodynamics. There's almost every single amusement park at least in the U.S. and many amusement parks throughout the world have had at least one Aero at a time. Kings Island currently has 3 Aero coasters. This one, the Bat, the Vortex, and Adventure Express. Alright, we're about to enter the station, and it's the amazing Bat. Here is an amazing station, and it's just like any suspended coaster. As you can see, suspended coasters hang they have the rails on top of the coaster instead underneath, and the reason why it's called suspended because the car can openly swing. Right towards our personal favorite area, the very back. It is absolutely astounding. And see you in a few minutes. Hi, we just got off of the Bat. The back of it does not disappoint. It's definitely a coaster to check out when you come here to Kings Island. We're now on our way towards the Adventure Express, but while on our way there, a couple last minute notes about the coaster from my good friend here, Amy. One of the most famous roller coaster designers, Ron Cooper. He was the head of operations at Aero from the 1970s, I think, till he passed away in 2011. And this is one of the coasters that he built helped build in 1993 and design. Yeah, my good friend,
Gemini Man.
Yeah, that's my good friend Gemini Man. With a little quick fact, as we pass it, we can get a beautiful view of the coaster. Just to give you a quick view.
And if we can get a good shot, like from where it comes towards us.
This is truly an amazing coaster. It does hold a record, still hold a record for being one of the tallest and suspended coasters of all time. Don't get it mixed up with inverted coasters. The difference is suspended coasters swing you, an inverted coaster does not. And as we watch now, there's a cart train that's about It's a train that is just about to go. Oh, let's just watch this. That is an amazing coaster. Now we're on our way to Adventure Express. We'll see you in a few. Before we head over to Adventure Express, let's show you this. Some of the original design is still saying it's seen better days, but this is a good reminder of when this coaster was originally themed after the movie, the Top Gun. Yeah. Alright, we're right in front of Banshee, and they're just launching a train. Watch how insane this thing is. Alright, that is an amazing shot of it. It's one of its most iconic tricks. Where it's in Climbing Hill, goes right through its first and its largest standing loop. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're good. What an amazing coaster! The Banshee is probably the most. I don't think I can get the rest. The Banshee is definitely one of the most amazing coasters at Kings Island. It's got to be on the top of the top 5 at least here, and it's just wow! It is an amazing coaster. I am always speechless when I ride it. Alright, as we head over to Adventure Express, we can see some of the more recent things at Kings Island. Right in front of us is the Delirium, and the former site of Kings Island's standing coaster, the King Cobra. I'll turn it over to Gemini Man to give me a little bit of a history.
The King Cobra was built in 1984 by the company known as Togo. It was one of the first stand-up roller coasters to ever be built. Right, like Mystic Rider said, the Delirium is where the King Cobra used to be, but unfortunately, because of Banshee being there also beside it, they would have to possibly tear it down. However, in 2001, Togo was closing their American offices because Togo was a Japanese coaster company. However, they had to close. It wasn't closed down because of how rough it was. It was closed down because there was no way to get spare parts in case it closed, in case it got broke.
Like he said, although some of the coaster is still at Kings Island, even though the coaster has been closed down for over 10 years now. Now, if you go into flight, if you're able to, in Flight of Fear, there are the original trains that I believe are still in there. Alright, right in front of us is the site of one of the worst things of Kings Island's history. One of the darkest days for Kings Island. It was the Black
Friday.
The Black Friday at Kings Island. And Mr. Gemini Man.
Okay. June 9th, 1991 was known as the day of infamy for Kings Island because 2 incidents happened. We don't like to go into full detail because of the graphic nature of what happened. But One guy lost his hat in the pond. Went in, there was a electric pump of some sort that was cracked open, got electrocuted. Then another guy went in, and then vice versa. And then two of the guys that went in ended up getting electrocuted so bad that they died. And then the first guy that went in survived.
Yeah, and because of that incident, that's why there's this fence here. Okay, now we're about to pass one of the most intense rides at Kings Island, currently standing, the slingshot. The slingshot is unfortunately, if you're a really a guy that really likes an intense ride, the slingshot requires an additional fee. So if you're going on it, you're going to have to pay extra.
$10.
$10 extra. As we get closer, we're just about to enter the Adventure Express line. This is an amazing roller coaster, initially named after one of Harrison Ford's most famous performances, Indiana Jones. In fact, if you go on the line, you can see some sights of the ride from the movies.
Also, we would like to mention that this ride was dedicated to Robert C. Wrinkle. He was the head of construction at Kings Island from 74 to 1990. He unfortunately passed away in 1990, the year before the Adventure Express opened. Yeah. But this was his last construction project before he passed away.
Yeah, what a tragic story. Well, let's head on in. Alright, we're in the station. Adventure Express is a bit of a mine ride, and it is a nice coaster. There's an amazing little trick on the second climbing hill of this thing. Unfortunately, we don't have right to film it, so we're gonna have to. So we'll see you in a few minutes. Alrighty, we just got off Adventure Express, and
Adventure Express in the rock.
It's hard to tell, but Gemini Man just told me that there is an Adventure Express in the rocks with a little squirrel admiring it. Look at that little guy. Well, because this is not a nature documentary, we might as well just let him be. We're on our way to right now we're just trying to figure out what to do next. As you can tell, there's a schedule to this thing, and right now we just need to figure out what we're doing right now. Hi viewers, right now we're just walking up to look at one of the iconic the tombstone for the iconic coaster, Son of Beast. Now, Son of Beast was an amazing roller coaster. Opened in 2000, closed in 2009. A very short one, like for a coaster. Even though it was infamous for its injuries, the real reason why it closed down is because of all the safety issues it had. And in 2009 they deemed the roller coaster unsafe, and in 2014 they replaced it with the Banshee, the largest inverted coaster in the world. Alright, we're on the tour and of Banshee.
Oh, you're good. You're working my camera.
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Here it comes, John.
I'm tracking it.
try and get a close-up shot.
Alright. Well, when you have zoom, you don't need a close-up. Alright, while we're on the tour, I'd like to take a moment to talk about Banshee's stats. The roller coaster is 167 foot tall. It is 4,124 foot long. It's with the biggest drop is 150 foot even, and it goes 68 miles an hour and has 7 inversions. The inversions include two standing loops, a dive loop, zero gravity twist, a bat wing. You can tell the difference. There's also called an boomerang, and then of course the last version and the only one on an inverted coaster, a barrel roll.
When it was open. Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, it was, yeah. Top, I call it top one still. They call it the mat now, and it's like, it's like that. It's not bad. Yeah, they don't even like, and that's just a unique one. They built this, I'm like, where's the second loop to? 70 seconds? I still like it because it's a lot faster.
Yeah. So there's another roller coaster in this. Prepare to get blown away, literally. Right, we're on our way down International Street. The fountains to our right here, and right in front of us, the amazing Eiffel Tower. This is a one-third scale model of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. It's it's the center point of the park, and it is definitely a must go on. We're going to go up at it now to give you a clear view of everything
at Kings Island. Alright, here we go. We're climbing up the Eiffel Tower. Alright, we're at the top of the Eiffel Tower and we're overlooking Planet Snoopy. This is Kings Island's kids area, and it's home to 4 roller coasters and a nice load of rides and attractions. It's a beautiful place for kids to first start out. Who are starting out roller coaster, starting out with liking roller coasters, as well as young roller coaster enthusiasts. If we look just slightly over, we are looking at Kings Island's current tallest roller coaster, the Diamondback, the tallest, fastest, and the meanest roller coaster to ever strike Kings Island. Right over to the right of Diamondback is their Kings Island's latest roller coaster, Mystic Timbers. To the left of Mystic Timbers is Vortex, one of the Kings Island's older coasters, and it's still amazing. It's one of their Kings Island's 3 Arrows coasters. Down here is the Backlot Stunt Coaster, formerly known as the Italian Stunt Job. It's a nice small coaster, very fun, but extremely wild. As well as one part, it can get extremely hard. Just watch. That flame is actually a lot harder. Now over here is one of Kings Island's oldest roller coasters, the Racers. It was here when the coaster initially opened, and is still amazing. And as we follow down the path, we can enter an area called Base X. Base X is a nice small out section of the park that is home to 2 roller coasters, Firehawk and Flight of Fear. This coaster here, Flight of Fear, is formerly known as X-Flight when it was at Geauga Lake. If you ever went to Geauga Lake and you're a fan of this ride, come on down to Kings Island, you can still ride it. In the building just right in front of it is the building for Flight of Fear, Kings Island's one of Kings Island's only indoor ride, and it is a wild ride. Inside that octagon building is 4 inversions and several insane tricks, as well as a fast launch in the tunnel just before. Now, just in front of the Racers, we have one of unfortunately, is one of Kings Island's most infamous rides, the Monster. It's not that bad of a ride. The only thing is, in the summertime when the sun's out, it can become a true inferno. It's just a uncomfortable ride, but it's still, if it's not so hot, it's still an okay ride to be on. Yeah. Alright, we're looking over at Banshee, and they're about to launch. Watch that. Here we go.
Lane clearing, looking behind it.
I'm 1 second. I got a good view of Banshee, and I'm taking it. It's a little tricky from up here because I have to zoom in so much. The pole. Alright, now just going off of Diamondback, it is the Adventure Express. This is that small aero coaster that we talked about earlier. It's you can't really see too much from here just because of the trees, but it does go all throughout that little area. Towards the left of the racer of the Banshee is the Bat. Yeah, the first one of the first coasters we were on, and you can't see too much from here, but as we've shown you before in our tour of Kings Island, it is an amazing ride. And last roller coaster as I move around a second is the Invertigo. It's the tiny little roller coaster here at Kings Island, and it's really neat. One last note. It's hard to tell, but here is Kings Island's most famous roller coaster of all, right behind the Vortex, the Beast, the world's longest wooden coaster. It's hard to tell because it's mostly covered in trees, but that is one of the best parts about the Beast. You're all in woods, you're going close to the ground, and it's just a sweet coaster to ride. It's definitely a coaster to ride on. In fact, it's a coaster you gotta ride twice. Once in the day, once at night, where the ride is completely transformed. Alright, we just got off the Eiffel Tower, and now we're heading over to the place where we're going to have lunch. Alright, before we head to lunch, there's something the Gemini Man would like to talk about.
As you can see right here is the Grand Carousel. It is the oldest ride in Kings Island. From my understanding, it was originally at Coney Island, which is another park here in Cincinnati, Ohio. That it's been there from the beginning, but then when they closed down Coney Island for a couple of years to move all the rides here to Kings Island, this was one of them, and it still stands today.
Alright, now we're heading on over to lunch. And on the way there, we'll show you a couple of the roller coasters that are in the kids area.
I feel like I heard that piece before.
Alright, we're about to enter Planet Snoopy. It's their kids area, and as you can see, you can see some of their attractions. One of the things is the first restaurants that we're seeing in here is their Chick-fil-A. Cool. It's a very nice restaurant, but you can tell there's a line, and we actually have a lunch that we have pre-scheduled for us. Here's a beautiful view of the sign, and if you look to your right, here's one of the smallest coasters here, the Great Pumpkin Coaster. It's one of their older roller coasters, and it's a very fun ride for the little kids. Unfortunately, it has a max height of one of the lowest height limits in the park.
36 inches or taller.
36 inches or tall. You had to be 36 inches or taller, but I believe there is a cutoff at 54 inches. Unless you're coming someone that's younger or is at the minimum of that height. Here's another one of their attractions.
Woodstock Whirlybird.
Woodstock Whirlybird. It's one of the smaller rides here. It's one of the smaller rides here, just a scenic ride that goes throughout the park. Alrighty, here comes another one of the original coasters. It's currently known as Woodstock Express, but it's gone through many name changes since then. And initially it was
the Scooby-Doo ride.
Initially it was the Scooby-Doo ride. Then for a while when Nickelodeon owned Kings Island.
Beastie.
Then it was changed to Beastie after the Beast was built. Then when Nickelodeon owned the park, Paramount and Nickelodeon owned the park, it was the Fairly Odd Coaster. Now it's Woodstock Express. Right in front of us is It's one of the Kings Island's more iconic roller coasters. It's one of the very few inverted family roller coasters. The
Flying Ace Aerial Chase.
Flying Ace Aerial Chase. It was the one. It's been here for a while. I believe it was initially called the
Runaway
Raptor Ride, named after the Nickelodeon show Rugrats.
Yes.
That's for their movie they did a while back. But it's still, I've been on it. It's an amazing little coaster, and it's definitely one for the kids. It's now we're on our way to the campground, to the picnic grounds, which is also the way to Soak City.